is Rhett Thompson, Blackanese chick. Hey, so here's the deal. I've had this question posed to me many times. People are like, Rhett, what's up with this Blackanese chick thing? And why do you refer to yourself as that? And what's up with you calling yourself that? And interchanging that with classifying yourself as black. Exactly, with that same tone and facial expression. Well, let's start from the beginning. All right, so I grew up in Akron, Ohio. Yes, I did. Akron in the Midwest. Not exactly a metropolis full of Asian people at that time, especially. But my mother is Japanese. My father is Black American. Not Jamaican Black, where they have Asians there. Not Haitian Black, where they're used to a couple smatterings. Not African from the continent Black, where they have like a couple of floats floating around. Just that kind of Black. Alright, so I grew up in the neighborhood, the neighborhood that I grew up in, on the southeast side of Akron, at that time was lower working class, upper poverty level, predominantly Black neighborhood. All right, so there were very distinctive classifications. All right, you were either Black, or you were white, or you were Puerto Rican. So you had to pick a group. What group are you in? You were with the Black people, you were with the white people, or you were with the Puerto Rican, or if you were what we called the Arabs. But there were so few of them, and they only ran stores. Like, I never saw them in a house. They were always running a corner store somewhere. So they didn't really count as a group, unfortunately, at that time. So the thing is, you know, you had to pick. And my mother taught me from a very early age, we are Black. Well, actually, you are Black. We belong to the Black people. Very clear on that. Because I think coming from Japan is a very homogenous society. You know, everyone is pretty much the same. Everyone looks the same. There's a certain, you know, a couple variations in complexion, but pretty much people look the same. Their hair is pretty much the similar texture. It's black. You know, it's a certain look, right? And you are very much about the group. You have to be part of the group. You know, you're part of the group so you can survive. That's why you're part of the group. You're not that renegade on the side there because you're going to be ostracized by society. You're part of the group. So we are going to be part of the Black group. Now the thing is, growing up, now we did have the Black people and the white people. There was some intermingling now, and they did like produce some children there. The biracial, or as they would call them, the mixed kids back then. I was always envious of the mixed kids. They didn't seem to have it as hard. You know, yeah, some, you know, quite a few of them did get teased, but then a lot of them, because they were so cute, look at them, they look all good with their good hair and stuff. They always seem to, you know, hey, they got teased, but at least they got dates. Me, I just could not figure it out. I could not figure it out. I just figured, wow, I have Black friends. I am in the Black group, yet every single beginning of the school year, especially in elementary school, I would have some random person come up to me and say, is you Chinese? Just no hello, no pleasantries, no good morning, no welcome to back to school. It would always be like, is you Chinese? Because this is really bothering me. I saw you over there, and it's really bothering me that you have this thing going on with your face, and it's so flat. You got to be Chinese. I watch karate on the weekends with the Kung Fu Theater. You've got to be one of them. Well, they never gave me that explanation, to be honest with you. It was more of a, is you Chinese? And I would be like, no, I'm not Chinese. No, you gotta be Chinese. No, I'm truly not Chinese. No, because look at you. That's the way to boost a kid's self-esteem. So I would try to be, you know, intelligent about it and say, no, I'm not Chinese. Actually, my mother is Japanese. And they'd be like, that is the same thing. And it's like, no, actually it's not. Because this is China. China here, this big, very big country, China. Japan over here, these series of islands. Two different, see there's like the ocean is in between there, so it's two. Oh, you trying to be smart. It's all the same. It's really not. And so I would try to say, well, that's like saying Akron and Toledo, they're not the same, right? I mean, they're two smaller sized cities in Ohio that have both seen their heyday, but they're two totally different. Well, okay, maybe they're not. Maybe they're not that different. I always just wanted to be part of the group. I always just wanted to fit in. I always just wanted to just like blend in with everyone else. Just blend in. Now, that's not to say that there was not another combo like me floating around in town. There was actually a family that had the Japanese mom, the black dad. They got together. They had the children. They lived on the other side of town. So that didn't really count to me as a group. You can't be a group. You can't have a support group of people that live on the other side of town that you see every blue moon. You might, again, remember, group, renegades. That sounds more like renegades right there, okay? And as we established, those renegades, they died. No, this family didn't die off, but I just wanted to be part of the group. Just wanted to be, alright? So, as time went on, and people just got used to my face, just floating around there, it seemed to have gotten better, and I just stuffed the Asianness of me far, far, far away, unless it was convenient, when it was book report time, when it was bring exotic food to school time. That's when it was very convenient to be like, hey, well, my mom is... Maybe we could... No, well, actually, I never contributed on that level. Not because I didn't want to. It was just that we were just too poor to to share food. We're not sharing food. My mom would always say, nah, you bring a bag of candy or something. We're not sharing our food with those people out there. They have mothers and stuff. They can feed them. Bring this bag of lollipops on Share Exotic Food. Share Your Culture Day. Bring this bag of dum-dums that... It was like 100 dum-dums for like $2. Bring that to school. We're not bringing any fried rice. We ain't got time for that. So, I was cool with being who I was, I guess, until I was maybe like the end of high school and into that college phase where I dated a couple of guys that's black dudes that specifically singled me out because I was like exotic. It's like, you ain't like them other black chicks. Oh, they didn't really sound like that. They actually said, you ain't like one of those black beep. And I was like, why are you... That's not even appropriate. Why am I dating you in the first place? Why is this happening? But they specifically dated me because I guess I had enough exoticism. Like maybe they thought I would be submissive and I would listen to them. I think they watched a little too much of that kung fu nonsense on the weekends. So I guess that's like, I was fetishized. There's like fetish, like an Asian fetish. Fetishized, fetish. I know, me of all people, like a fetish. I just didn't try to bring out the Asian in me or acknowledge the Japanese side of me. Part of it, I think, if I really want to dig deep in there, is that when my mother and my father got together, according to my mother, my mother's side of the family, they remembered World War II. And they lost people in the family in World War II. Like, even like a couple kamikazes, like, young men, young cousins of hers, gave up their lives, for the emperor, put themselves in the air, in these little crappy airplanes, and basically blew themselves up trying to, destroy American, warships. So my mother's side of the family had a little bit of a grudge against the Americans. And so here's my mother not only getting together with an American, but let alone a black American. Like, what is going on with that? So they pretty much rejected my mother and rejected us, and they just cut her off from them because she had brought great shame. She had brought great shame to the family. I guess it's more great shame. Yeah. So I just figured, well, if they're rejecting us, then I'm just going to reject that. But then time passes, right? And you become more self-aware of who you are, and what all that stuff from the past and your family and all that stuff makes you who you are. And then I had a light bulb moment. Bing! I would have done a light bulb here, but I guess my hair is too big, so it can't fit in the camera. I watched Tiger Woods tell Oprah that he thought of himself at a time. There was a time where he thought of himself as Caucasian, and people lost their minds. They were like, what? Why is Tiger Woods not saying he's black? He's saying he's Caucasian! Being that he was trying to acknowledge the Caucasian side, the Thai side, the black side, the Asian, all of that. He's trying to acknowledge all of that. But I understood what he meant, because why totally bury that side of you? I know that even though my mother's family rejected us, my mother is not a black woman. Like, as much as she loves collard greens and soul food, she's not a black woman. If I acknowledge my father's side of the family, why shouldn't I acknowledge my mother and who she is? So, I'm not saying that I have it all worked out. I really don't. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Like, I know that I feel comfortable, most comfortable, like when I'm checking off one of those boxes to fill out a job application or the census, I'm checking off black. I don't check off, biracial. I don't check off, Asian, because I grew up, culturally as a black person. I feel black person from the Midwest. Maybe that should be a box. Black person, Midwest, Akron, Ohio, what? But I'm not going to deny my mother. And even though I haven't been exposed to like tons and tons and tons of Japanese culture, I do feel like it's my responsibility to learn, right? So that's all I got on that right now. As I figure it out, I will let you know. But that's what all of this is. This thing. Alright? This is who made me what I am. Blackanese chick, what? No. Alright, everyone. Thank you so much for checking it out and listening. And, let me know what you think. Leave your comments and subscribe. So, until next time, see ya!